Hello! So I kind of realized that a lot of people are probably wondering how I decided to go to Tokyo and the more specifics of what I'll be doing when I'm there, because obviously I'll be studying the language and culture, because what else would you be doing when you're there? Basically, how I got to Tokyo was I realized I had a bunch of free hours, and I was like, okay, I could either graduate a semester early, I could do two simple part-time, not simple, but two easier semesters my senior year of just part-time instead of full-time student, or I was like, those are my options. And so I called my mom and I'm talking with her about it, and she was like, why don't you study abroad? I was like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. But even when she said it, I was like, maybe. So I went home and I prayed about it, and the Lord was like, yeah, you should study abroad. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the Global Education Office at Virginia Tech, and I was like, so here's the deal. I have a free semester to do whatever I want with. What should I do? And they were like, wow, okay, we don't really get a lot of those, so you can probably do anything. And I was like, oh, well, that's not really super helpful. So they gave me a website, and they were super helpful throughout the rest of the process. It was just I had to figure out where I wanted to go first, or else they can't really help you. So they gave me this website called ISEP, and through the website, they show you all the different countries that have programs where you could be an exchange student or do different things like that. And I was like, okay, sweet. Well, I've kind of always wanted to go to Japan, so I'm just gonna look, just look, see if they have a program there. It doesn't hurt. And so I zoomed in on the map, and what do you know? There's a program in Tokyo, and I was like, okay. And so I click on it and I read more about it, and there was just so much. I could do homestay, I could do, I'd be living with a family, and then I'd be learning just the language and the culture, so I wouldn't really have to take any classes for my major, and they had a whole program dedicated to that, so I was like, yeah, okay, but the homestay is really what tipped it over the edge. I was like, wow, I would love to live with a Japanese family, and I was like, wow, I'm just gonna apply today and just start and just see how it goes. And the Lord was like, you didn't ask. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I'm so sorry. Like, why didn't I ask? So I was like, Jesus, you want me to go to Tokyo? And he was like, I will give you a passion for where I want you to go. And I was like, so you gave me a passion for Tokyo? And he was like, yes. So that was super awesome. I was like, sweet, like, I have such a desire to, like, go to this specific program. And he was like, yeah, this is the program that I have for you. And so basically I could have applied two different ways. I either could have, that's four, but that's fine. I could have either applied as a direct student, which if I did direct, I would automatically get accepted, but I'd be staying in a dorm and I'd be paying the tuition there. And I was like, well, I really want to do the homestay, even though it's not like 100% chance that I'll get in. I'd really like to try, because like the Lord said that he wanted me to go there. So obviously, if he wants me to go there, he's gonna help me get in. And so I apply for the exchange program, which means I pay Virginia Tech tuition as if I'm going to school here, which is cheaper than paying their tuition. And then, which actually I found out later that it's actually not, but it's too late now. And so I applied, and it's not 100% guaranteed that you will go, so it's actually a very limited number of spots. And I was like, Lord, you have to help me get in, because I cannot get in. Because honestly, they didn't take very much information to apply. It was kind of like, hand us your transcripts, and that's basically it, like, and one recommendation. And so thank you to my public speaking professor. She wrote my recommendation. And I get this email a couple months later, and it was like, hey, by the way, we just wanted to let you know, the exchange programs, not everyone gets in, so we were just kind of wondering, would you like a direct spot, or would you really like to stay for exchange and try to get an exchange spot? And I was like, Lord, like, what do I do? And I was like, I really, really, like, I know you'll get me there, but what if this is you saying, here's the opportunity, take direct, or is this you asking me to test my faith and really try for exchange and just trust that you will get me there? And he was like, look back in your journal. So I went back in my journal, and it said, my journal is where I write everything the Lord tells me and stuff like that. And so I look back, and it says, I will get you to Tokyo. And I was like, okay, Lord, this is your application. And so I was like, I'd like to stay for the exchange because I'd really love to do the homestay, but thanks for the opportunity to change to direct if I wanted to. And he was like, all right, sure. And less than 12 hours later, I got my acceptance letter to the exchange program in Tokyo International University, and I was like, wow, praise God. And ever since then, the Lord has just been providing. I got my visa yesterday, which is super exciting. The picture is, but that's fine. But so what I'll be studying is I'll actually be studying so I'm only going to be taking 12 credits because their credit system is the same. It's 1-to-1. But their outside work is almost double our outside work. So I was like, oh, I think 12 credits sounds good. I think that'll be good. So I'll be taking an 8-credit Japanese language class. So every morning from 9:10 to 12:20, I will be taking Japanese language. So hopefully I will take something out of that. I forgot my phone. And let me say what the other class is. Okay, so the other class is 4 credits, and it's called The Soft Power of Cool Japan. And so in 2010, the Japanese government formally implemented a strategy called Cool Japan, which aims at increasing Japan's influence in the world through a process known as soft power. And so basically what I'm going to be studying, I have the syllabus right in front of me. So what is soft power? And then we're going to be looking into its influence in art, Japanese film, Japanese TV, Japanese music, martial arts and the samurai, Japan's adoption of other cultures, Maid Cafe, and then we have a field trip, which is super exciting. And then we look into the game industry, manga, anime, cosplay, Japanese fashion, Japanese street fashion, sushi, and more. So basically, I'm going to be studying all the awesome parts that got me to love Japan in the first place. So I'm very excited for that. And I got like this email the other day, and it was like, oh, make sure you send in your t-shirt sizes because we're having sports day on September 8th. And I'm so excited. So sports day there, from what I understand so far, that may change when I get there and do it. But what I understand so far is like you're put into teams to work with people, and basically it's like field day, or elementary school field day, but for college kids. Although I'm sure their games are going to be different because they're going to have Japanese games versus the games we play here. But I do know they have tug of war, so that's actually a game that I've never played here. But you always see in the movies and you're like, wow, tug of war, but you never actually get to play it. And to get ready for Japan, they sent like this 30-page packet. I haven't read the whole thing so I'm like nervous to go to Japan, obviously, but I'm also super excited. But the packet, I'm like, wow, this is really overwhelming. So I'm like, I just won't read it yet. So just procrastinating, which actually isn't typical stuff. But that's fine. But I did read one of the pages, and it was kind of like what to bring and what to wear as for clothes-wise. Because I've been doing a lot of research of like, what can I wear? I want to, not because I want to fit in, but because I do want to fit in, obviously. But I want to honor their culture and make sure I'm in the regulations that they have. Because I know in America you can kind of basically wear whatever you want. But like, I was like, I should look up in Japan, how short can my shorts go, and how low can my tops go? And obviously I don't really wear like short shorts and tops that show everything, but I just wanted to check to make sure the things that I did have worked, and they didn't. So I had to go to the store. So me and my friend Corey went to the store and bought lots of clothes, and actually one of my pair of pants actually makes me think a lot of the girl from Jurassic Park, and it literally looks just like it. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I've become obsessed recently, but that's fine. So I went shopping and got all my clothes, and I'm very excited to go to Japan, and I will keep you updated. But this is all I have for now.